What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video of me, my old man, and a movie. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Heretic. But before we do, make sure you subscribe and like the video, and I will read a brief synopsis of the film. Two young missionaries become ensnared in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on the door of the diabolical Mr. Reed. Trapped in his home, they must turn to their faith if they want to make it out alive.
That describes it.
Yeah, it really does.
I didn't know anything about this movie before we walked in, so that I'm hearing that description. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the movie we just watched.
Yeah, he had no idea. He hadn't seen any of the trailers yet.
The movie posters. Like we saw one as we were coming in, and then the other one I missed. Thank God, because I didn't. It would have gave more away.
Yeah.
I just went in blind. So glad I did. So glad I did.
I have no words for this film.
Yeah.
This was so in-depth and complex and just so, like...
It was well thought out.
It was really, it really was.
Well thought out.
The writers, this was a brilliantly written, amazingly directed film. This just totally was so well done.
Yeah, this caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had no idea what I was walking into, but
yeah.
Early on you could tell. I was like, oh, you watch some films and it's like you're uneasy because you just know something's off.
Mm-hmm.
But in this film, on the flip side, you knew you were in good hands. I was like, okay. I was on the edge of my seat.
Oh yeah.
The entire film.
Oh yeah.
But I knew I was in good hands because the writing, the directing, the acting, everything was on point. So, all right. That's, yeah. Let's get into it. Let's rate this.
All right, acting and characters. So I thought that Hugh Grant, the guy who nailed this role. This was awesome. He did such a good job with the role.
Well cast for this.
Both of the girls were really good. I thought both of them were really good. The one with the brown hair, I thought got better as it went along. I felt like at first...
When you say brown hair, like as compared to, what are you calling the other girl?
The black hair.
Black hair, okay. See, when you say brown hair, I'm thinking blonde and brown, but you're thinking black and brown. Okay, yeah. So Sister Paxton.
Paxton's her name, yeah. I thought her acting got better as it went along. At first I was like, but as it went along, I was okay.
Yeah, Barnes, I was going to say Barnes was my favorite. Like, I think of the two girls, like I liked her a little bit more as it went through. But, I mean, listen, they all did such a great job.
Yeah, I mean, when you have three characters in a film, each one has to be really good and step up.
Carry it.
Yeah, because you only have three, and that's it. And they all three of them did.
As opposed to another film we watched this week that had three characters that didn't carry its own. I didn't feel like
elevation.
This was great. Yeah, Sister Barnes, and then like you said, Hugh Grant was great in it. Mm-hmm. All right, I gave it. What are we doing it?
I gave it 8 blueberry pies.
Blueberry pies. I gave it 9 pies. 9 pies.
You'll know what that means when you go see the movie.
Yeah, all right. Direction.
So all I put was knows how to build tension.
That's what I got.
This was
tension.
Unbelievable how, like, the way the shots were. There were slow shots where they're, like, turning the camera
Everything
around.
was, like, very, like, disorienting.
Yeah.
Like, it would just, it wasn't even like, I thought pan, but that's not the right word. Like, the whole thing would kind of spin, and you were just always kind of...
Yeah.
I just can't... Yeah, like, you felt what those characters were feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really
with
did.
The shots.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he kind of... The way things dropped off and then picked back up, and the pacing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought the pacing was really well done. There were moments where it was slow, but then it was like they were able to pick it back up, and it didn't get boring.
The opening dialogue between them in the first room was like that dragged for a little bit for me, but it was fine. Like it was such a tense. Like you were just so like, what's gonna happen? What's about to happen? I never had it figured out.
No,
I felt like I was in the dark the whole time.
Yeah, and then the payoff at the end, it really works.
Yeah.
It really works.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 9
9.
pies for me on that one.
9
Blueberry
pies.
pies.
Writing. Yeah, this was really well written. You could tell, like, by the end, you knew they had a plan from the very beginning of where they wanted this to go, and they executed it very well. And there was a lot of, like, really complex ideas that were conveyed in this in a way that made sense. And, yeah, I thought it was really well written.
Yeah, so, like, a lot of the religious undertones, right? Like, these are all arguments that you hear about. I mean, if you watch a YouTube video or study this yourself, or you know, of different religions and how we can know what. There's so much of that embedded in this film. I didn't expect to get all of that. Like, that was a surprise to me. How much of this is like a lesson in religion and different belief systems and all of that. And so I've watched films that attempt to address that feel preachy, or that feel like it's like lecturing to you in some way, or showing off, or too heady. This wasn't. It was like it was packaged in this suspense film that like it fit, and it didn't upset me in any way, and it didn't like it didn't bore me in any way. Like it never felt preachy. In fact, they kind of hit different ends of it to where you're like, I mean, you wouldn't even know what the director and writer, you wouldn't even know what their belief system is based on this film.
Yeah, it was very objective. It was very objective.
Yeah. So I loved it. The dialogue was great. You know, the banter back and forth. 9 for me.
Blueberry pies. 9 blueberry pies. Cinematography and special effects. The what am I going to say? The old prophet, right? In this looked scary as anything I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, the way that the makeup artist, whatever, like, killed it with that, because that was really scary.
Yeah.
And it was very dark.
The whole look of the house, it just
the house felt disorienting.
It felt,
the house, the way that it was mapped out and stuff felt disorienting and stuff. There were hallways that led to like rooms that you wouldn't normally see in a house, and it just like really threw you off.
Yeah, and like they get invited deeper. Like, I don't want to reveal. I don't want to reveal too much, but just to say, I thought this was well done as well. I actually gave that one a 7.
I gave it an 8.
Lowest score, but I'm just trying to bring this down a little bit. Like, I just feel like I'm like way over the top on this, but that's fine because it was well deserving. Music and sound.
I didn't think there was much of a soundtrack until like maybe 2/3 of the way in, and then things started. There was like a build up and stuff where there was like, horror music and stuff, and I thought the soundtrack was very good. It was fitting, and it made like it more intense. It did its job.
There was a piece in there, maybe 3/4 of the way through, that sounded like Joker soundtrack to me. It had this string kind of thing. It was very similar to Joker. It reminded me of that, which I love the Joker soundtrack. The use of sound, just like I was thinking specifically, there's a water catcher in one part, and it kind of taps down. And the first time, it's like very suspenseful. Like they use that noise to really like grab you, and then later it's subtle. And I just thought it was interesting how the same sound, the director, the sound engineers could use that same sound to produce 2 very different reactions.
Yeah.
Just as an example of how well they did with this. So 8 blueberry pies for me on the sound.
I gave it 8 as well. And my overall rating was an 8.4.
My overall rating, 8.4.
Agreed.
Recommend?
Yes, absolutely recommend.
Yeah, it's got some violence. There's a little bit of gore in there. But mostly just suspense. So I don't remember a lot of language.
I don't think there were any language. I don't think there was any language.
I don't remember language. Yeah. There's some like sexual discussion, a little bit of if you want to go, like at the very beginning and stuff. But like
I thought that was weird.
It was. You turned to me. You were like, "Yeah, I've heard things about this opening scene, but I promise you, it gets better."
Yeah.
It was really. The opening scene was very different than the film.
Oh yeah.
I don't even like, but it. it was quirky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just if this is your job, like if you love suspense, I would highly recommend this.
For sure.
You know, but whew, something else.
Great.
All right. Any spoilers?
I don't think I have any spoilers. I mean,
I don't. I mean, all right. I'm good. I got things I'm thinking about, but you guys go see it.
Yeah. What do you got? We got next week. We got Red One.
Red One is coming out.
That one I'm
gearing
really
up
excited.
for Christmas.
I'm really excited for that one.
The season is beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
See you guys later.